Hey everyone, welcome to Two Bros One Podcast, or TBOP as they call it, the fastest growing podcast on Twitch, also the
The
freshest, as always, joined by my boy Coopster. Coop, what's up?
What's up, Pete? How's it going, bro?
It's going great. We're gonna ignore the fact that I just mispronounced fresh.
That's fine. That's
The name
fine.
of the podcast.
We can also
Whatever.
ignore the fact that 5 minutes before we started, I went to go for a big lean back for comedic effect and absolutely fell out of my chair. I wish we were recording it, honestly, because it hurt real bad.
It was hilarious. I mean, there was a moment where it's like, oh, is Coop alive? He's
Was
alive,
that?
but he's dead.
Yeah, I had to mute my mic because I was like moaning in pain. Because I like landed on like the arm of my chair. It was super painful. I'm sure my whole family was like, "What's going on up there?" But that's fine.
Yeah, the moans got a bit much. But,
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. Kind of toxic.
Just glad you're okay. For the sake of the podcast, the show must go on.
It must indeed. So
I feel like
Peter,
you got some like internal bleeding or something, but it's okay.
yeah, that's fine. I'll probably make it through the show, and if I don't, just one bro, one podcast. That's fine.
I'll carry on. I won't replace you. It'll be two bros. I'll just talk to you or
Just
myself.
like my dead body, just like
Yeah, just chilling.
I get like cremated, and you're like,
Well,
Cooper's mom,
if-
could you bring in his ashes for the show? I feel like
Okay.
the folks at home would love to see him.
But think about it.
I'm thinking.
If you did get cremated and, should you pass away, God forbid, I would hate that happen.
Yeah.
But like, we wouldn't have to social distance. I could like have your urn right here,
Oh yeah, we could be in the same room with your terrible mic quality.
Be pretty poggers. Okay. We've heard your woes, everyone. I'm very sorry. My mic is so awful. There's a new one coming, and it should be here by the next podcast.
We should also announce, last podcast we made a tiny little bet regarding the GameStop stock, and
To the moon, baby.
the punishment for that bet will happen at the end of this podcast. So stay tuned to see what Peter or I have to endure as punishment.
No one knows.
No one knows.
Definitely can't go in Robinhood and check that right now or anything. Curious.
Well, should we remind
Truly
them
curious.
what we betted? Should we remind them who said what for the bet?
Yeah. So the bet was about higher or lower than 66.50 per share.
GameStop
see if
stock.
Robinhood
To the moon.
Stock would drop or raise. I said it would raise because I believe it's going to the moon, and I'm playing the long game. It will go to the moon for sure.
And I said it's going to go down because the stock is, going down. But
What's the opposite of dog water?
what? Opposite of dog water? I don't know.
Yeah, like cat juice. That's what GameStop is.
You heard it here first, folks. GameStop is certified cat juice.
Uh-oh.
That's nice. That's nice.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Well,
at the end of this podcast, you'll see what happens.
so Valentine's Day is coming up. And,
Wait, I want to acknowledge what Chris said in the chat.
I was just gonna go past it.
If you're watching at home, Chris said that Peter made a bet playing the long game when the time frame was 1 week. Which is true, but I also think in the long game, it's still going to go down. We've already been to the moon and back. We're on the way home. The return trip.
We haven't been. We are not on the return trip. The moon has not been reached yet.
But yeah, you were mentioning Valentine's Day, and I was just thinking about that. Because...
Oh, were you?
Yes, because it is currently 10:47 p.m. So...
Yeah.
It's possible that you and I can ring in the Valentine's Day together as two bros. Two bros and one Valentine. Huh?
Yeah, for the sake of certain people who may or may not be watching, I hope that doesn't happen.
What? Who's what? Like your mom or?
Yeah, like my mom.
That
I did
remind.
tell her. She asked me if she could watch because it turned up on her podcast app, Apple Podcast,
Really?
and
Two Bros
yeah,
One Podcast. Check it out. Apple
yeah,
Podcast.
yeah,
Leave a
and
review.
so she said she started listening to it, and I was like, please don't listen to the end of it. Cooper makes a lot of your mom jokes. I
I did
don't think I
not.
want you listening.
I just made the Peter's mom segment. How is Peter's
I don't
mom?
I don't I
I accidentally
would
started
love
playing
my
our
mom to watch
podcast.
it, but I don't want her to see that.
So you don't want us to get a new viewer. I'm looking us up on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts right now.
Yeah, we had a new review.
We did?
For those who Yeah. For those who don't know, the beginning of every podcast, we'll go through, look at our Apple podcast or YouTube comments and whatnot, and see if we've received any reviews. And Coop, do you want to read this one, or do you want me to get it?
You got it. I don't have it pulled up yet. Who's it
Okay,
from?
so our
And
third review, another 5-star. It's from Karolina Strebenka. Seems like an alias to me. It says, just a jolly good time with the two best up and coming comedians of the 21st century. Honestly, this is my favorite part. Honestly, just tune in for the hot ginger.
oh, they must be talking about
Coop,
me.
Coop, you're not ginger, are you?
Yeah, but you're not hot. So I think okay, I think I get what they're saying. Tune in for the hot and the ginger. It's like two different people.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but they made it seem like the hot one and the ginger were the same person.
I don't think that was because there's two of us. They would have just said
Yeah,
they would have just said tune into the hot one or tune into the ginger if they were just talking about you. But they were talking about two different people in that quote, if you think about it.
sure. I'm thinking about it. And that leads me to the conclusion that if I'm the hot one, what are you?
The ginger.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. You're the ginger now. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to ringing in Valentine's Day with you, Peter. You and me. Two bros. I'm going to make sure this podcast goes all the way 24-hour podcast.
I'm just gonna mute at a certain point, and you're just gonna be like,
Hey, Pete. That's how it's going to be.
okay, but different subject with Valentine's Day.
Okay.
As we've discussed before on the podcast, Coop is single and looking. I want to let the ladies or men or more.
Anything. Anyone.
Yeah. I want them to know what they've got, to look forward to.
Oh,
with me.
you're like advertising me to the world.
Yeah, and
I
I feel
didn't.
like this is
Wait,
a
is your
good way to set up.
did you say your mom was gonna watch this podcast or?
Okay, stop. No. My mom's not gonna watch this podcast, so you don't need to cater to her.
Okay. Continue.
Now that we've got that out of the way, I feel like this is a good place
Unless.
to set up a great virtual dating profile, essentially.
Okay.
People just listen to this and
Oh.
they get like a good, do
They
they
can
want
get
to
to
date this
know
guy?
the real me, the real Cooper.
Exactly. So I gotta start out first. I feel like a good, fun way for people to get to know about each other is perfect dream dates. Coop,
Oh, are
tell us
we?
about your perfect dream date and what you would like to take this other on,
Mm,
or more than other. We haven't narrowed down what kind of guy Coop is yet.
okay, so I'm thinking we start out with some fish food, not like not like fish, like seafood, like some lobster bisque or something.
So
Um,
you're too cheap to get lobster, so you get lobster bisque.
I don't know what lobster bisque is, but I saw it on that one TikTok where they're doing like the countdown. They go like, for lobster bisque, two
Yeah,
spicy
that
crab.
that is both funny and relatable.
The people at
The whole
home know what
package.
the people at home know what I'm talking about. I'm quirky.
I
I'm
guarantee
quirky.
they don't.
And then, um, hmm,
So
what
lobster
else?
bisque.
Lobster bisque. And then what do people do on dates?
Hey,
Mm,
up
oh,
to the imagination.
okay. So then we go to Walmart and we're like going through, and then
Okay.
we go down like the fruit aisle, and I grab some
Yeah.
dates, and I'm like, here's some dates for my date. And then we both laugh, and then we have to go check out and buy the dates. I don't know what dates are, but I feel like I might be allergic to them, so I can't
I
eat
gotta
the.
address that. What happens if they don't laugh?
Oh, they will.
Okay. Yeah, they for sure will.
And if they don't want me to, you know.
So like, who's paying for the lobster bisque in the dates?
I mean, I'm a unemployed 21st century man, so I believe in
Yeah.
equality. So I think
Mm-hmm.
she should pay, or he, or them, they, them, anyone.
Yeah, other. Any.
Whoever
They
I'm
should
with
pay.
should pay for equality's sake.
So if they're a guy, they should pay because of
Because they're a
equality.
man and it's a man's job to pay.
What does that make you?
I don't know. I'm there.
Okay.
Vibing. A boy.
So
I'm just a wee boy. Just a little boy.
just a man and a little boy on a date.
Yeah. It really takes me back.
Wait.
Back to my childhood.
Hold on. Hold on. Maybe we steer clear of that one.
Anyway, next
We could have a
question.
trauma stream later on.
All
Okay.
right. So we got the perfect date.
What happens? Yeah, yeah. Wait. I don't think it ends there. What happens after Walmart?
I don't know. I feel like after Walmart, if I haven't wowed them, I'm really running out of ideas.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe, oh, you know what's fun? So you know, like the places, like the places where you like dump your trash. People leave
Yeah?
all sorts of free stuff there. Like I saw this, like it's not like an elliptical, but it's like the thing where you're like walking on it and you like move your hands and
Oh,
move
the
your arms at the
stair
same time.
stepper. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you go there and you could find all sorts of free cool things. It's like geocaching, but better.
I don't think so. I do have a story about that later though.
About geocaching or digging through trash?
About dumping.
Oh, a big dumpy on this guy.
Okay, so to expand upon your dating profile, we've
Hmm.
already established you go to get lobster bisque anywhere.
Yes,
Not
anywhere.
not not too limited there. Yeah, yeah. Then after that, you got Walmart, just cruising down the aisles, cruising and cruising down the Walmart aisles.
Absolutely. Perusing.
Yeah, get some dates. Then to the dump.
Oh, you forgot I make the joke. Here's the date for my date.
I didn't feel the need to include that. I feel like it's better in the summary if I, exclude those things. So next at the dating profile is what are three words to describe yourself? Just to round out Coop as a
Oh,
person.
okay. 3 words. Could they be any words?
Yeah. Yeah, any word.
Um.
You do have to know what they mean so you can tell them to me if I don't know what they are.
Okay. So the first word would obviously be swagalicious.
Swagalicious. Why don't you tell me what that means to you?
Is this like a job interview? Okay, it's like Fergalicious. Are you familiar? Like the song,
Yeah, I'm
like
familiar.
F to the E to the. I don't know the letters, but swag. Add swag to that. You got swagalicious.
Okay. Got it.
Second word, um, pog.
Yeah, I was thinking that one too. That's a good
Thank you.
all around
Like,
Coop encompassing word.
yo, that's pog, and then kind of greasy. I would say number 3.
So swagalicious, pog, and greasy
Yeah,
from the dump.
yeah. If you're taking around in trash, you get a lot of grease on you. That's how it goes.
That makes sense. Well, the dump is both pog and greasy, so I see how you include both of those.
What could you, if you had to describe me in one word, how would you describe me for this profile you're creating as an outside
Huh.
source, an objective
I only get one word.
one word? Someone in the chat
So
said
I
hot.
see some input from the chat. They say hot.
I think that's a good one.
I'd go with like a
Sexy.
musty.
Musty?
Yeah, a little musty.
Like an
Like
old closet.
like I turn around, right?
Yeah.
And then I whip back around, bam! I see Cooper, musty.
Wait.
No, that face doesn't.
How do you do it? How do you do the
Don't.
face?
I don't know how to do the face. It's like
I feel like that's pretty good.
I can't do it. But yeah, I get musty.
Okay.
The hair helps with that.
Thank you. I feel like we're building a good profile for me.
Yeah. For those listening, watching, please let us know. Would you swipe right on this profile?
Oh, is that are those the only two things? There's not like a third category?
We can develop a bit if you want.
Yeah, for sure. We need like one more to really round out the.
Well, so usually on these dating profiles they have pictures.
Yeah.
And seeing as how this is a virtual dating profile on a podcast, it might not be the easiest to show pictures just for those listening. So I want you to imagine certain pictures. And in your perfect dating profile, give me, 3-4 pictures that you think would perfectly round you out for this date.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You doing what? Just describe them.
Yeah, I'll work in some of like my interests into those pictures. So it's like it's like me standing there, shirtless on a beach, washboard abs. And you know what I'm doing? I'm taking a long walk on the beach. With the puppies. I have a dog and I'm holding it like a baby because I'm good with children, but it's also a dog because dogs are cool. And then you're
like 90% swipe right.
Yeah. And then I'm only wearing one flip-flop because I don't know, I'm mysterious.
Quirky like that.
Very quirky. And then
so that's picture one.
Then picture two.
Wait, real quick. I will say I don't know if the shirtless adds or detracts from the picture.
No, I got washboard abs, so it adds for sure.
Oh, you have washboard abs?
Yeah, in the picture.
Oh, but like in real life?
In the picture I'll have washboard abs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure.
And then
so picture two.
Picture me. I'm standing on a rock. Full pilgrim attire.
Just to let people know you're old fashioned,
Yeah, I stick to my roots. I've got like the like belt on my hat.
Nice girthy buckle.
Yeah, and then I'm holding like a turkey, but like a live turkey, and we're like friends because I'm like that's like my duality sorts.
Like cradling it.
Yeah, like I'm cradling the puppy in the first picture, but this time it's a turkey because even though I'm a pilgrim, I like turkeys, animals, not to eat as friends.
Yeah, he's built different. That's what that picture says.
Yeah, and then the third picture is just like me sleeping, but my feet are out, covered in peanut butter.
Okay, so next segment.
Yeah, we don't want to know what it means.
God. I'm scared of what that might mean.
It means I love dogs.
And
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can sleep in your bed and still play with your dog because the dog's like licking the peanut butter.
That's interesting. I think that shows bravery because it's like the boogeyman. It's like you stick your foot out and he's gonna grab you.
Yeah.
You're like you're putting bait on there for both your dog and the boogeyman.
I am a master at that.
Yeah, he is a master at baiting.
I think another
showing bravery, affinity for feet, and the love of dogs.
I think a big category on my dating profile would be about Adam Sandler.
Oh, what about him?
Like my favorite Adam Sandler movie.
What's your favorite Adam Sandler movie, Coop? I feel like you're leaning into that one.
I'm glad you asked, Peter. Well, okay. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. There's just so many. I've seen
Okay.
like all of them. Adam Sandler, a great guy. I love his songs. I listen. You know his music. He sings about Hanukkah. I'm not Jewish, but
Yeah, his like annual Hanukkah songs.
yeah, those are good. Those are good. But
Kind of bop.
if I had to pick a movie, I would say Click.
Click. So I feel like I've never seen that. But for those listening, if you don't want spoilers, I'm assuming those will come up.
Yeah, I am about to
But
spoil the entire movie. So
yeah,
if you
Cooper,
don't
tell us
want
about
to
Click.
wait, I'm gonna Google it.
Seeing when it came out. See
Yeah.
if it's free game.
If you haven't seen the 2006 classic Click, click away right now.
Yeah, click away.
Pee Wee, you're getting to my point. Pee Wee in the chat, because it's a
I
sad
thought
movie.
you were calling me Pee Wee for a second. I was like, hold on.
I cried during the Adam Sandler movie Click. It was very sad. I distinctly remember.
Adam Sandler's like a funny guy.
Not this one. Not this one, man. So let me set the scene. Adam Sandler
Yeah.
plays a character, who I believe is just
as he usually does.
it's just like himself. He's just like Adam Sandler, but with a twist. He's got this magic movie remote. And with
Okay.
the click of a button, he can do everything a movie remote can do. He can pause time, he can rewind, and he can fast forward. But
Pretty interesting.
the problem is Adam Sandler's like, I'll just fast forward through all the boring parts of my life. And he clicks fast forward. And one time he's like doing the dirty with his wife, and then he fast forwards because he's like not in the mood. And then the next time he goes to do the dirty, it automatically fast forwards through it. And then he's like helping his kid with his homework, and then he fast forwards. Then the man ends up fast forwarding through his whole life. And then he's like laying on his deathbed with like his magic remote. And he's like, oh, I love you guys, but I don't remember you because I clicked through my whole life and I'm Adam Sandler and I'm old. And then
Dang.
I cried. And then it was just like a dream or something, and it didn't actually happen. Then he just like went back to normal.
Oh, it was just a dream?
I don't know. I think he goes back to like normal at the end. It was kind of weird.
That's crazy. Wait,
Also, Hotel
so-
Transylvania is pretty good.
is Adam Sandler in that?
Yeah, he plays the vampire.
Which one?
The dad.
The girl?
Dad. No, the
Mavis?
other one. The other one. The only other vampire.
That's fair. Man,
So
that's
what's-
such an interesting like concept. If you could fast forward through anything, like, would you want to?
yeah, I would definitely fast forward through this podcast.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah, not like because of you or anything. Just Pee Wee in the chat is saying that the controller reappears, but he throws it away. So he doesn't need it anymore because he's learned.
Oh, after he like wakes up?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It was a
Can
weird
he
movie.
rewind at all?
I don't know. Maybe that's what he does. He's like laying on his deathbed and he rewinds and like undoes
Oh.
everything, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man.
I definitely cried.
Controller
single
really
tear.
diddled with his life there.
Yeah, he diddled himself.
Hate it when that happens. When you diddle yourself.
So just
Enough to make a grown man cry.
just record that part of the podcast and put that in the Adam Sandler portion of my dating profile.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your
Have you
favorite
seen,
Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, I was just about to mention. Have you
Oh.
seen Uncut Gems?
Yes. That's like
Yeah.
the recent one.
Yeah, so I guess that's more recent, and I feel like that should be given a more aggressive spoiler warning.
Large
It's
spoiler
really
warning.
good. Yeah, it's definitely not a comedy at all, but okay. I'm laughing because someone in the chat is saying this again. I'm assuming in reference to the podcast.
It's I don't think they like you, Peter.
Oh, you think me?
No.
But I'm the hot ginger. They said it in the reviews.
Oh yeah. Anyway, carry on.
But Uncut Gems, it's basically this this jewelry dealer, and he does some shady things where you'll pawn off jewelry to get other jewelry. So like an NBA player comes in, he takes his rings to let him loan out other jewelry, and then he takes those rings, sells them for loans so he can get them back at the end, or pawns them off,
Infinite
and
money
then
glitch.
yeah, and uses that money to bet and makes these crazy bets. And in the movie, he's like losing tons of money and not doing great, but he has this one bet at the end that's contingent upon this crazy thing in the game. And I'll cut it short a bit, but all these obstacles get in his way, and he ends up being able to make this bet, and it's going crazy, and he makes it, and he's literally about to be like a multimillionaire. He's made
Spoiler
it in life.
warning.
Yeah, spoiler warning. He's doing great. And this mob boss's henchmen shoot the mob boss and Adam Sandler in the head and then just rob the store and leave, and the movie just ends. After all of that, his life is like finally looking up after it's like ruined completely in the movie. Oh, I mentioned this to Coop earlier. I watched it and it ended at 3 a.m. and I was getting really tired. But when that ending happened, I was so frustrated. I couldn't sleep.
He hasn't slept since.
No, I haven't. It's been like
Since
a
that
year.
day.
What were your thoughts on the movie? Because it just like blew my mind.
Yeah, it kind of made me angry. Like I honestly, I felt like it was like I wasted my time a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like because he just like it's just like okay, that's just how it ends. Building
Yeah,
up to this
it's
huge
so
payoff,
abrupt.
and then bam,
Kind of like
bada bing,
GameStop,
bada boom.
but the
Kind
BAM
of
is
like
like the
GameStop.
moon. You know.
Yeah, bamming all the way to the moon.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be great. I'm telling you. Me and the boys bamming to the moon.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, Peter. Just stay tuned till the end.
Coop, you should definitely invest in GameStop.
Should we make
All time
another?
low.
Should we make another GameStop bet for next
Yeah,
week?
I'm down for another higher or lower bet.
Higher or lower than what it is right now?
Yeah.
Don't want to
Which I feel
spoil
like
our
we shouldn't.
last bet.
Yeah, yeah. We shouldn't reveal it now what it
I'm gonna
is.
look at it. Okay. And you think it's gonna go higher than it is right now?
I'm saying higher.
I'd be willing to take the lower again.
Would you?
I think so. What would you stake on it?
Hmm. It has to be something different from our last bet and something we can do on the podcast.
Hmm. Taser.
I don't have a taser.
Good.
Do you have a taser? Oh, I thought you were reaching for a taser. It's just a glass of water.
I'm trying to think. Maybe like a wig. I don't have a wig. Shirtless podcast.
Shirtless podcast. A podcast, truly.
Yeah.
I feel like
Certified.
it's like a direct nerf to the people listening to the podcast, and we discourage it by showing off either of our rock hard abs.
Okay. Whoever loses has to do
Mhm.
an impression of the other person's choosing. And it can't be like your Chewbacca impression. They have to actually try.
Okay. Can there be a disclaimer where it can't be anyone that could be,
What do you
you
mean?
know, like it can't be an impression that can be deemed what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Disrespectful might be,
Okay. Sounds good.
like Chewbacca. You wouldn't want to do a legit Chewbacca. I mean I did because it was so spot on. It's okay, but
Yeah.
like if I just asked you to do a Chewbacca impression, it would be that's insensitive.
Or or the loser has to say something nice about the winner.
Some high stakes.
And it has to
How
be
about
true.
both?
Okay,
How about
both.
both?
Both.
Okay, so higher or lower GME stock right now. I take
Mhm.
higher. By the next podcast, loser has to say something nice and do an impression.
I don't know. Chris says that's lame sauce. We could do something better, but I can't think of anything better. We'll put a hold on
Yeah,
it. Let us know if you're watching live in the chat what you think our stakes should be, and we'll come back to it before the podcast
like
ends.
medium rare, rare, or
Slightly rare.
like what the stakes should be. Hey, Coop, I think you're muted. I can't hear you laughing.
Oh, sorry. I was laughing so hard my mic must have cut out due to the
Oh,
sheer
okay.
humor.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. I don't
Peter, you know what else is funny? Poop.
know. No.
So
Where are you going with this?
we were having a discussion before the podcast and you refused to answer me. But now that we're live, I feel like I can force you to discuss.
Okay, so let me get this straight. When we're in personal conversation and I won't answer you on a personal level, you think it's fine live in front of people being recorded.
Yeah, I feel like you'll be more peer pressured into answering. So
Valid.
so let's everybody close our eyes and imagine you're in your bathroom, sitting on the
Okay.
toilet, and then you reach over to the toilet paper. You're dropping a large deuce.
All right. Okay.
It's a juicy one, so you're definitely gonna have to.
No,
It's not one of those one wipe Andes.
I don't like this.
You're gonna have to wipe. Do you sit down to wipe or are you gonna stand up?
Can I open my eyes now?
No, you gotta stay closed, like mine.
Okay. I'm gonna open mine. Yeah, your eyes are open. Okay, now that I've imagined it, I'm gonna need you to repeat the question.
Okay, so when you wipe your bottom, are you sitting down or are you standing up?
Definitely sitting down like a normal sane human. And the fact that you bring this question up makes me concerned, greatly concerned for your mental and physical well-being.
Well, it's the thing. Some people do one way, some people do the other way.
Nope.
I actually am fortunate enough to know both sides of the coin. I originally, I'm gonna admit it, I was a stander. I was a stander. How does that make you feel?
What? There are no standards. That's not a thing.
People do it. People do it. It's a thing.
There are no standards.
Chad, if you're a stander, stand up.
It's a toilet seat. You sit on it.
But you stand.
It's a toilet.
But you can.
You sit on.
Okay. Let me roll us back. I was a child, a mere child, but I was also dummy thick. I had a dumpy.
Wait, was this when you like would bathe with the potato or no?
No, different situation entirely. We don't need to talk about the potato. If you want to hear about the potato, refer to last episode.
Okay.
Baby Tater lives on in my heart. Anyway, so I would just stand up. That's just how I would do it. And then reach over, wipe, and then you're done. And it seemed normal.
What possessed you to do this?
I don't know. That's just what I thought was like cool. What all the cool kids were doing.
I didn't want to think about this, but you go into the logistics of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to discuss this.
Okay. So there is one big reason why I think sitting is better now.
Okay.
So imagine your booty. When you sit down, you kind of like spread and then you can like wipe.
Yeah, this was the logistics I was discussing.
But then when you stand, it's like not the same. But when I originally tried, like when people were like, I sit down and I like tried it for the first time, I was like, how do you do this? Because I tried from the front. Like putting my hand down the front of the toilet and like wiping that way. And it didn't work very well. I'm going to be honest.
I am dumbfounded by you.
What? We've all been there.
Just like we've all bathed with a potato. Again, see podcast episode 3.
Okay, you're making it sound like I'm a weird guy.
You literally were talking about how quirky you were in the dating profile.
I'm unique. I'm interesting.
That's not. I don't want to hear about that. I don't think our viewers want to hear about that.
Fine. Then what do they want? What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about, Peter? Instead of toilet talk.
Well, speaking of dumps, and like we were talking about earlier, going to the dump. I have a dump story, but it's not that kind of dump, and it's not the dumpy kind of dump. It's like the trash kind of dump.
Oh yeah, like you, garbage. Got him. High five,
So,
chat. Bam. Continue.
I hate you. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about a story of dumpster diving.
Ooh.
This is why I'm afraid of bees.
Oh.
So, you might be thinking, oh, bees in a dumpster. That's simple. Wrong. There were no bees in the dumpster. The only thing that were in the dumpster were raccoons and pogness.
You were in there with a raccoon?
Yeah, once.
Oh.
Well, you had to get it out.
Wait, how often did you dumpster dive?
Like a few 100 times.
What?
No, not that many. Like a handful. So,
Okay.
for those of you who don't know, when I was a kid, I lived overseas, in Germany, on a military base a few times, and basically,
Prisoner of war.
yeah, prisoner of war. The kids would just get up and like run around, and the parents would just do whatever because it's a military base. Who's gonna like come on there and kidnap you? Just like, oh, get shot. Military base, pretty cool. But so we were allowed to just like roam around, stuff that normal kids I feel like wouldn't necessarily be able to do, completely unsupervised. And at the edge of base, there was this like clearing of thorns that only like fifth grade and below kids could fit through, because before, like Coop with the big dumpy couldn't have fit through.
Okay, it's kind of rude.
And you crawl under this like hedge of thorns, and you're in this tiny little clearing, and you're surrounded completely by hedge, and you can see out, but people can't see in. It's formatted like that. And so we had like a little club, like 10 kids who would like filter in and out. And eventually we figured out where the dump was, like not like the dump, but we figured out where the dumpsters were, and people would just take furniture and carpets and like pog stuff, like
This is
paintings and
like,
whatnot.
how old are you when you're stealing from the dump?
This was like 2019,
Okay.
2020. No. I was like 8.
Okay, so
I think.
there's an army of 8-year-olds on a military base stealing carpet from dumpsters.
I'm the garbage man. Yeah, basically. So
Okay.
we would take all this like cool stuff from the dumpsters, which, mind you, these dumpsters are pretty big, especially to an 8-year-old. We get in, we can't get out without help. So we'd form
Ugh.
like cartoon human ladder.
This is
and
disgusting.
No, it wasn't that bad. You're 8, so it's like, oh, dirt doesn't, germs aren't real when you're 8.
Yeah,
They
it's
weren't
so,
invented
like,
until you were like
sticky
older.
and like slimy and like grimy.
You want to go on a date to a dump?
Okay, continue.
Okay. So we have like this really cool, complete like home set up in this clearing of thorns, and like the trees cover it, so when it rains, like it's fine. You get a little damp, but nothing big at all. And so after like a particularly great dumpster run, we got this like 6 circle orange shag carpet,
Oh.
and like this cool like lazy boy, or like what, those like, the reclining chairs, the comfy ones.
How did you get that?
We took it apart. It was so cool. We were like little mischievous children. Took it apart, shoved it like the base of it could fit through. You could fit in like an arm at a time, and then like the stand and the head, and fit that all through this clearing. Super pog, you get it set up, and there's this secret like outpost. You can crawl under a separate hedge of thorns, and you can see the entrance of the base, and they can't see you. And so you'd go there and just kind of watch for a bit and like, theorize like, oh, bad guys coming in the base, having a good time. I go do that. It's me and a couple friends. They're chilling, setting up the lazy boy, making sure the carpet's all nice, nice and clean out of the dumpster. And I crawl down and I hear like a little buzz. I'm like, home.
Mm.
Must be the dumpster, a raccoon buzzing by.
As they do.
Yeah. And then I feel like a prick and I'm like, oh, I just hit a thorn. Then I feel like a lot of pricks. And I turn around and there's just a swarm of hornets crawling on my legs.
Oh.
And they're like going up my pants and then they get to my waist and they go up my shirt. And I'm like flipping out.
Oh.
And so I like yeet out of the thorns, crash through them, being a maniac.
B.
And being a maniac, horneting a maniac. I like run out of there, and my friend later described to me it looked like I was like things were like swimming on me. It was just like a wave as they were like moving their wings and whatnot.
Ugh.
And I just book it. I like army crawl out of the thorns as fast as I could, and I just run. And basically what happens is eventually, speedy quick, outrun the hornets.
Yeah.
Or so I think. What happens is I catch up to a couple of joggers. I'm just like screaming at this point, just bees. Sounded
Yeah.
just like that. They calm me down. The guy's like, he's like, oh, you're gonna be fine. When I was younger, I got stung by 100 bees, and I was like, bro, it's not a competition. Just let me have my pain and like move on. He was like, oh, it's not that bad. You're fine, kind of thing. Was not helping. They called them the police, which is like great. What are they gonna do? I'm not allergic.
Did you get arrested?
Yeah, I did get arrested for diddling bees. And so police aside, I don't know why they were called. They didn't do any help. It was just the military police, so not the boys in blue. And my dad eventually gets home and he's like, "You're fine. We'll just take you into the bath, wash the stingers off. You'll be good. You'll be chilling." And I'm like freaking out. Like I can't really talk at this point because I've been stung a lot and I'm just like dying.
Oh.
And this is like 30, 40 minutes after this has occurred. And every time I move, I'm like getting not happy. It's almost like I'm getting diddled.
A whole lot of
And so,
diddling going on.
a lot of diddling. And so we get in the bathroom and turn on the water and he takes off my shirt and bees fly out. They were just
Oh.
under my shirt, and anytime I would move, they would sting because they'd get agitated. Or hornets. So their stingers could go for a couple times before they died.
Ugh.
Same with the pants, but that one was a little more painful, so we don't need to describe it. And so I get in the bath and just like wash them off, and I'm just too out of it to really realize. But my mom comes home and she like yells because there were just bees floating in the bath with me, like they're dead bodies from the water. And I was
Oh.
just chilling at this point. I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna it's not my problem. I'm chilling. So that is the story of how dumpster diving gives me a fear
Wait,
of
you can't just
bees.
end it there. Did you live?
No, I died.
Did you have to like get like go to the hospital or anything or?
Literally, that was it. They were like, a bath, you'll be fine. I ended up getting ice cream out of it, and like the neighbors brought me like lollipops and stuff.
Did you put
It's
on
like,
like some aloe vera or anything? Or
yeah, there was a lot of aloe involved, but we don't need to get involved in the healing process. And
little
the
slimy
rubbing
boy.
down of my body. I was a slimy boy for a bit. A lot of Vicks vapor rub, a lot of aloe.
Did you go back to the fort?
I personally didn't. But after that, it basically, got abandoned. I think a few people went back here and there to see where the hornet's nest was, and it was the base of a tree. Where we put the lazy boy recliner. Got disturbed.
But they just okay, so really you just ended all the fun for everyone.
Uh, well, seeing as how
It's kind of your fault.
where we put this chair at the base of the tree was the thing that set them off, and they just were like, "Oh, Ginger, let's go for him."
Oh yeah, it was a hate crime. Is that what you're saying?
Hot Ginger, as the reviewers would say.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
hot
a hate crime.
8-year-old Ginger.
It was a hate crime.
But I actually have a very similar story. I was
About
playing.
dumpster diving.
No. I was playing. This is like last year. I was playing some cool disc golf, and I stepped on
Like
like a
all the cool people do.
yeah, and I stepped on like a bee's nest, and they stung me like 3 times. It was really painful. Never again.
Wow, Coop, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That sounds
We are the
awful.
same.
Yeah, 100% the same.
I want to. Do I have any trauma like that?
Well, I
I
have
want to.
another dumb bug story.
Why you messing with so many bugs? Let's hear it.
I'm diddling them unintentionally, and then they diddled me back. Because equal treatment.
Intentionally, unintentionally.
Yeah. I used to live in Louisiana because I moved around a ton as a kid.
The bayou.
And yeah, the Bayou. I actually lived there during Katrina, which is
Oh,
pretty not great.
Hurricane Katrina, more like Hurricane Tortilla.
No,
Did it feel more like Hurricane Tortilla?
it did not.
Okay, continue.
I don't know. As a kid, I kind of thought it was Pog because I didn't really understand what was going on. I was like, "Oh, loud noises!" My house just got like destroyed. We had like
Nice.
we were on another military base. One of our houses got destroyed in one of the first days, so we moved into a second house. Just like none of our stuff, just kind of like moved in with some blankets. That house got flooded, and then we moved into a third house, and that house got destroyed just by like I think a tree fell on it that time.
Mm.
Um, as a result of Katrina, but they were all condemned housing in the first place because that's how it is on an army base. So it's pretty chill. But I had a good time because we just got to like camp after that, and you know, as a kid, it's like that's pretty cool.
But you were actually just homeless.
Well, yeah, everyone on the base was for a bit, but like we
Oh,
all thought the kids thought it was cool. Talked to my parents about it afterwards. They did not think it was very pog. But you know, that's neither here nor there.
and you got attacked by bugs?
No, separate story. We were geocaching, which is funny because you mentioned it earlier.
Oh.
Not at a dump, like you had mentioned. Geocaching, down in the bayou, and we're walking along this path. And if you don't know, in Louisiana, there's tons of fire ants, just huge, massive fire ant colonies, giant mounds all over the place. And we used to like to stomp on the little ones as a kid.
Oh.
Just I don't know, it was kind of cool. You just kick them and run, and you're fine. Um, but I was a pretty dumb, mindless child, so we were geocaching, and I just walked into like a big fire ant mound and just like stood there because I was dumb. And they
Posted up.
started, yeah, I was posted up. And I'm flexing on them, and they just started crawling up my legs and biting me, and I just didn't know what to do, so I just stood there,
Oh, what?
and and then they just kept crawling and just like destroying my legs. And then my mom saw, and she just like yoinked me out of there, and I was just like tensed up, ready to go, ready to mess up these fire ants.
This is post bees, right?
This is pre bees, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
You,
was like
you
4.
think you would have learned your lesson?
I
I'm not
didn't.
saying it's your
I just
fault, but
wait. Yeah,
it's kind of your fault.
kind of. One could look at it like that, but it's really weird. They do feel like fire. Like it builds up, and you're just like burning, and it's
Ugh.
like, oh, this is not Pog.
I don't think I have experience with fire ants. You have a lot of experiences of large amount of bugs crawling over you and you just doing nothing about it.
Okay, well, the first time I was just dumb and just didn't know what to do, so I just stood there. The second time I was stuck in the little cover under the thorns. So, you know.
Well, I'm happy you survived these experiences to make it back to this podcast. If you think about it, all of those experiences have led back to this very moment.
I'm thinking about that. You might have to elaborate a bit because I'm confused with the connection.
Well, like if you like, okay, so it's like history, right? Like like
Okay.
if you hadn't been stung by those fire ants, you might not have come on this podcast.
Yeah.
If you think about it like that.
y- Yeah. So I'm thinking about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Ants podcast.
Yeah.
Because the podcast is so fire. Ah, I get the connection.
Yeah,
Fresh.
that's what I was
Fresh
going
and
for.
fire.
Fresh podcast.
Freshest growing podcast on Twitch. You heard it here first, folks.
Is it supposed to snow down there where you're at in your place? I saw a bug fly by.
I just saw a bug fly in front of your camera.
It's like a little gnat. I don't know where it went. Probably the
I'll
same
just
bug
go.
from your side.
True
From
facts.
last podcast. I'm looking at mine right now.
No, we just got a ton of rain, which is not very pog.
Yeah, mine just looks like a bit of rain too.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm in a new setting now. I'm down in my college apartment, rather than at
Cool guy
home
Pete.
up in the mountains.
Have you had any snow related injuries?
I mean, I went skiing one time and was like, man, I'm really good at this, and I wasn't. And then I took a turn on like, I don't know. It's not like a beginner mountain, but it wasn't like a black diamond or anything. Like probably should have been able to do it, but was overconfident and just like full scent, like no pizza, all French fries.
Oh no, never go full French fry.
And like my side of my ski snagged and it popped off, and so I just kind of flipped, and then I just landed on my hip on a rock that was on the side, because the sides of it hadn't been snowed because it was like trees and whatnot. And so I just hit the rock and then ended up with this like gnarly bruise for like a week or two.
Oh,
Um,
I had
it
a
was pog. It was like it was worth it. It's cool,
worth
but
it. I had a
yeah,
similar incident. We went like skiing and like snowboarding with like our middle school class one time. And I
yeah,
had just gotten like a snowboard for Christmas.
pog.
And I had only been snowboarding like once at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like I got a snowboard, so now I'm gonna really get into snowboarding. That's gonna be like my thing. That's and so
Quirky
we
like
were
that.
all supposed to get like lessons, but everyone was like renting equipment. But me and this other boy were the only two that had like our own like boards. And he was like, why don't we just go up to the mountain and we'll get like a run in, and then we can come back down for like the group lesson. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh, that is an amazing idea.
best idea.
But then I thought about it, and like thinking back, it might not be the best idea because because I had never been like snowboarding before, even though I had a board. So I just
Oh,
had
okay.
no idea what I was doing. And we didn't even start on like the bunny slope. We started on like, I don't know, like a medium one. So
Like blue square moment.
you blew square all the way. So we like ride the chairlift up there, and I got no idea what I'm doing, and I like fall off. I like face plant off like the chairlift, like face first, just straight into the snow. And he's skiing, and so I have to put like my binding on, and he's like, "All right, I'll wait for you." And I'm like, "Oh no, you can just go ahead.
Go.
I'll be
Leave
down.
the poor stranded kid up at the top.
I'll be down in a second." And he's like, "Oh, all right." And then he just starts going. So I'm like trying to figure out how to get like my bindings on and like my snow boots, and I get attached. And then with snowboarding, you're just like strapped in, and just
Yeah.
so I just turn sideways and I just yeet myself down the mountain. And it's scary, man.
There's no pizza French fries with snowboarding. It's all French fries.
Full French fry, a singular thick French fry. But I'm just like frightened, and I don't know how to turn. And sort of like you, I turn like towards the woods, but I get myself stopped. And then I try again, and I go like even faster, and I like skid and almost face plant, but I'm okay. And then I'm like, screw this. I am not doing this anymore. So I take off my snowboard and just hold it, and I just walk the rest of the way down the mountain.
You walked down a mountain?
Yeah, and then like people are like passing me by, and they're like, "Hey kid, are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I wasn't hurt. I was just
like,
afraid.
Down on your butt. You know that, right?
No, I walked. The walk of shame. And then by the time I got to the bottom of the mountain, they had already finished like the lessons where they were like teaching everyone how to ski. So they were like, "Oh, sorry, too bad."
How long was this walk? That you took so long.
I had to walk all the way down.
Oh my god, Coop.
I was a fat kid too, so that didn't really help.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
This other time, now I'm not a very experienced snowboarder, but I am a seasoned sled veteran.
Oh, I'm a big sled guy. Yeah.
So me and my sister are both sledding at the same time, and we have like this sled and then this big like tube, like I don't know what it is, like a snow tube.
Yeah, yeah. I love those.
And it just gets going like really fast, and we're in my backyard right over there, and I have like this like loose tooth.
Uh-oh.
And then we go down and we combine, like we hit each other right in the center, and it's like smack. And then I'm like looking down, and there's like blood coming out of my mouth, and I'm like, "What's happening?" And I like reach up, and my tooth is gone.
Please tell me you found the tooth.
We found the tooth in the white snow by following the trail of blood back up to our collision point. And then my tooth, you could see my tooth because I was drinking a lot of soda back in the day, and it was slightly more yellow than the white snow. And then I took it home, put it in a plastic baggie, got some sick $2 from the Tooth Fairy. It was a good time.
You got $2?
I don't know.
You
Probably.
rich. I'd only get $1 per tooth.
I'd get $100 bills for every tooth. No, imagine.
Man, you must have had a dad that really loved you for that.
No, it was all the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, okay. Great. Glad we established that. Hey, you good, Coop?
Anyway.
More on how money can buy happiness.
Okay. So I was thinking about middle school.
Okay.
If you saw yourself right now, like you right now met your middle school self, would you be friends, or would you like beat him up?
No, I would like punt that kid into oblivion. I don't know about you. I was plush, so I could take a few hits, you know?
I think middle school me could take me, honestly.
You think?
He's got like 10 pounds on me. Yeah,
middle school me I didn't gain weight. I hit my growth spurt freshman year of high school. And I just shot up. I like didn't change weight, and then like a month later I lost like 5 pounds, 10 pounds over the next couple months. And then so I like slimmed down and grew. I feel like we were similar in that way, because I was chonking a little bit.
I was a little bit of a chonk too. But I was thinking back to my elementary school days. And did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid?
Oh my, you were one of those. No, I was a brief Bakugan Beyblade.
Oh, Bakugans were sick. I feel like I still have some in my closet.
I still have some in my closet. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do.
Oh, who knows? I'm not a nerd.
True.
But I was never really into Yu-Gi-Oh. But there were 2 kids in my class that would always play it. And there were only like 13 kids in my whole class, like my whole grade level.
Wow. Yeah.
So you had to be tight with everyone. But I had seen like one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh on TV, and I remember there was like this like Black Rose Dragon or something like that.
Okay.
No, this is going somewhere. So that was like the only one I remembered. And they would like play Yu-Gi-Oh in class, in like at lunch, but they never had any cards. They would just like say cards like from their memory. And like
So they were
fight.
pulling out like max level, like what, I don't know how it works.
I
Like
don't know either, but they were like fighting with their imagination. But then I would come in and I would play my Black Rose Dragon, and then I would be
really
like,
diddle 'em.
I play this other card, and it kills all the people that are there that aren't made of plants, and like none of them like knew any monsters that were made of plants. So I would just always win.
Did that really work
It
for you?
did. It did.
Oh my gosh.
That's
That's
how I became a
that's
Yu-Gi-Oh
hilarious.
master.
A little con man right there.
Middle school days were wild. I also
Back
looked. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna go off the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I came to the mountains
Nice.
in nope. I came to the mountains in 5th grade, halfway through, and this was during the Beyblade rage, and it was huge. And my previous school, it didn't exist. No one knew what that was. We were in like the Minecraft for free, get on there for educational uses and
Nice.
whatnot. Yeah. Um, and so the Beyblades were all the rage. It was great, but I didn't have any. And so some kids like felt bad for me and like gave me like a Beyblade starter pack. Like they just gave me a few like of their leftover Beyblades and whatnot.
Nice. You got donated Beyblades.
I did, and it was like absolutely pog, even though these weren't like quality builds. But we had like a Beyblade trading system. Like we would trade parts and like spinners and arenas and stuff. And I ended up being able to like swindle my way up to like the best ones in class. And I became like for like a brief moment the Beyblade champion. And then like the next day, no one cared about Beyblades.
You're like those people who trade like a paperclip for a house, but it's just a
Yeah.
Beyblade for a better Beyblade.
Yeah, it was exactly that. But the second I got like good, no one was interested. Like a few months after, just bam, nothing.
I don't think I ever really got into Beyblades. I had like those like Lego Ninjago, like the ninjas like on the spinners and you like spin them by hand.
I hate to admit, I watched that whole show when I was younger.
It was a good show. It was a good show. Who's your
My
favorite? Who's
little
your
brother
favorite
watches it.
ninja?
My favorite ninja is Zane. Spoiler alert, he's a robot. He's sick as hell.
I liked Cole.
The Cole
Black
was the
haired.
ground one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because his name's Cole or Jay.
I literally just got it. Cole. Oh my god.
And Zane
Was
is
not a smart kid.
Zane is robot backwards, so that's why they called him that.
Um,
If you think about it.
Inaz.
Yeah, robot.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
I
but
had.
no, Zane was cool because he was like ice, and it was like
Yeah,
ice running through my veins.
I feel like he was my least favorite, or the green one. I didn't like the green one.
The Green Ninja
Yeah, Lyle. I don't know.
turned out to be the
Lloyd.
little kid.
I don't know.
Lloyd. Oh,
Lloyd.
punk kid. I didn't like him. He's a little baby man.
Little baby man. Oh, you got him, bro. But thinking about middle school, I had a very unique middle school experience, or all of elementary school.
Oh, like you'd bathe with a potato?
No, no, never
Tell
did
me about
that. It happened every now and then.
your okay.
But I want you to guess how many absences I had in 1 year in elementary school, or middle school. I don't remember which year it was, but I remember the number.
How many absences?
Yep, how many days was I out of school?
Can I get like a higher or lower than 10?
Higher.
What? It was like 8 and you're done.
I had 73 absences.
I was gonna guess like 20, 25. 73, you just weren't in school.
Yeah, basically.
What happened?
Okay. So my dad, back when he was, there, um,
Before
he
he went to the groceries.
yeah, I don't know. I guess he's still on his way back, but he worked at the school, so we would just like stay home sometimes and just like vibe. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If any of my middle school teachers are watching, I want you guys to know I wasn't actually sick all this time. I was just at home playing Call of Duty, drinking.
Drinking?
No,
In
drinking
middle
Mountain Dew, drinking ample amounts of Mountain Dew, not, not just drinking.
Middle school Coop getting lit on a Wednesday.
But yeah, I would just stay home and like play like video games.
How is that okay? Just because your dad worked at the school?
Yeah, basically, I think it might be illegal, but
That's
I th-
definitely illegal.
I think after like 12, they're supposed to like start calling like child protective services or something.
Yeah.
But I was still doing good in
Yeah.
my classes. Smart guy, Coop.
Yeah.
We've all
That was your nickname in high school.
we've all been there. You seem like the type to like only miss like 0 days. Perfect attendance
Uh,
looking.
so senior year of high school, they used to take bets in my first block to see if I'd show up at all. And literally they'd cheer if I came in because it was like so rare. And
What
like
what class was it?
it was AP physics. And this brings me to another story.
Wait, was I in that class?
You were in AP physics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Were
not
you
remember?
were you in that class?
Most of the time, no.
Okay, that's probably why I don't remember.
So this leads me to another story, which is very interesting. So for those who don't know, Coop and I went to high school in a sort of rural county.
I can't say that word. Rural.
Or rural.
Rural. Anyway.
Yep, nailed it. Um, and basically science teachers were few and far between. So there were.
You can't do them like that. You can't.
It's true. There were literally 2 people licensed in our county to teach physics at a high school level. 2.
Okay.
And one of them was our honors, AP, and normal physics teacher.
Don't say his name.
And
Don't say his name.
I won't say his name. But I would come up with an alias. Let's say Mr. White.
Ooh, like Walter White. I like it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The chemistry teacher. But this is physics teacher. So maybe we should pick another color.
Yeah, I'll just stick with it.
Yeah, let's stick with Mr. White. So Mr. White, he had some personal problems. Occasionally.
Okay.
Like Cooper in middle school.
Like Cooper in middle school.
He liked to drink a lot of Mountain Dew. Wink, wink.
Nice.
And so, like Cooper in middle school, he had 73 plus absences. He just didn't show up for the last 2 years of my high school career, which I took honors physics and both AP physics under him, much like Coop did.
Yep.
So this led it to we just had a free block and then an exam at the end of the year. So you just kind of like hoped you passed, and it's like, oh, do you know physics? No, but it's okay.
But didn't you end up like passing that exam? You passed
Yeah.
like one of them. You see that you're a tryhard. I failed both those exams and I'm proud of it. And now I'm in a major that revolves strictly around physics, and I still blame Mr. White for me not knowing what I'm doing.
Classic Mr. White.
Walter White.
What a character. But okay, but I mentioned how there were 2 licensed people in this entire county.
Yes.
Eventually, our senior year, they start to catch on. Admin's like, wait, this guy's just not going to show up. Took him like over a year and a half. And so they bring in this other lady who I don't even know her name. Coop, if you recall, we saw her for a total of 30 minutes. She showed up, printed us all like an 80-page
Oh,
packet, and was like, "You need to do this for next class so we can hit the ground running because we have a lot of ground to cover." Because she came in so late, and we were like, "Oh, hell no," because we had done nothing in this class, like at all.
I feel like we like forced her out or something.
So I'm pretty sure what happened is she just like moved away. Because we never saw her after that, making Mr. Brown the only licensed teacher in our entire county to teach the class. And they can't just get rid of the class halfway through.
Yeah. Mr.
Still teaching.
Mr. Gray had a rough time.
Mr. Gray, he's still teaching there. I wonder if he shows up.
But that was probably my favorite class of all time.
That was such a fun class.
Because we just would not do anything. We would sit there and vibe.
Well, do you remember the lab that was like the big spinny wheel and you have like the weights and you bring them in and you go like Mach 10? Just spinning around 10,000 RPM.
It was really fun. And then we just like did not do anything. And like there was like a couple weeks where we just sat there and played Uno on our phones, like crazy eights on the game pigeon. It was a good time.
It's not like Mr. Orange wasn't there to like tell us off like, "Oh, no Uno or anything." What is he gonna do?
I feel like some days we would have like no subs would even come in for the class. Like it would just be us vibing.
Occasionally, like a science teacher would pop in and be like, "Hey, Mr. Yellow's not gonna pop by today." Like, oh yeah, what a surprise! And then they would be like, "We're gonna watch over you," and then they just leave and go back to their class, and we just like sit and like hang out.
It was great.
It's a good time.
You know what else was a good time? You remember when our school almost got shot up?
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, I do recall.
Did you go to school that day? When there was a threat?
Wait, which time are you talking about? Oh, was this the guy who was like the red bandanas?
Yeah, red bandanas.
I did go to school that day.
I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this on Twitch, but this is our real life experience.
I can talk about a more fun one that happened at our school. I mean, not fun. This is not a fun. So, like,
which one was more fun?
Okay, so our high school was built on a cemetery. They commandeered the land, and so they moved the cemetery to a close by property.
As one does.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! When you tell that, you have to talk about the pep rally first because I. Okay, continue.
The pep. Okay, so if you don't know what happens in military funerals, is they'll do a 21 gun salute to honor them. They'll do 3 renditions of 7 shots. So they'll have 7 people with guns, pop, 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 21 gun salute. It's a thing of honor. So we were in class, after class, going to this pep rally, which it seemed like.
Yeah, I'll tell about the pep rally after. But
after. So everyone's like itching to get out of this pep rally. It went long. It's all hot in the gym. Everyone's just tired. So they call it, everyone rushes out. Pop, pop, pop. Guns blazing. Everyone's flipping out. People are like crying. And so they're like, "We're having shooting. Everyone go. Get inside." I'm all the way at the, like you can agree. It's like a good solid walk to the back of the parking lot.
Indeed.
Right?
A long trek.
You're sweating. My car was all the way back there. And I'm back there by the time they're calling people in. And a teacher comes and bangs on, like singles my car out, bangs on the window and tells me to get inside, and then walks away and doesn't tell anyone else. So I have to go out of my car, walk all the way down, putting me in more like potential danger than if I were just staying in my car and driving away.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah, by that time, all of the doors are closed and locked.
So we
And
just
so like
walked outside.
so I'm like going around banging on doors, and they're like, "Oh, can't answer because that's protocol." And eventually like a counselor's outside, and they're like, "Oh, go into this room with me." And it's like we're just
Nice.
chilling in the nope. We're chilling in the special ed room. Um and just all the don't give me that look. It's nothing bad. We're just chilling there. Um and just ride out the whole deal. But the whole time it was just a 21 gun salute that they didn't clear with the county, and they thought was a shooting.
So I want to do a little flashback to my perspective of the same events.
Okay.
We're in this lame pep rally,
It was kind of cringe.
and but there's one cool part about this pep rally. They're throwing
Okay.
out these plastic footballs to every person. Like
Yeah.
everybody gets a plastic football. So I get
I
the
got a couple.
idea. I'm like, I have this plastic football. What if I threw it at the guy presenting? It was Tucker. And I was like, what if I threw the football and tried to hit him? And so I throw the football at him, miss because I'm garbage. But then other people are like, oh shit, that's a good idea. So people just start like chucking footballs. People are throwing footballs at him, at the presenters. People are throwing footballs like, so it's like freshmen and sophomores on one side and juniors and seniors on the other side. And there's like footballs like flying back and forth between the two. It was awesome. And we like found like we
Yeah,
found
in your
like
defense,
the
Tucker
box
deserved
of
it. He's very annoying.
we found like the box of footballs and like just started like handing them out and throwing them everywhere. And I was the mastermind behind it. I would just like to take credit for that.
I didn't know that was you. You learn something new every day.
And then we bust out the
Bust.
place, out of the gym, and we're like time to go home. And then I hear one of the admins get on like a megaphone and is like, everyone back inside. And I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna be mad at us for throwing footballs. And I'm like, I'm just gonna like keep walking. And then they're like, get back inside now. And then I hear pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go back inside.
Fine. You got me. You got me.
If you
They're, like,
insist.
shooting at you.
Oh my gosh,
I
there's so
remember that. That was crazy. Yeah, everyone thought they were just mad at us, telling us to get back inside. And then it was just a shooting. But then it was just a 21 gun salute.
there's so many good stories. Like, do you remember our student resource officer tackling the kid over a
I have
jewel pod?
inside scoop of this.
I
So
watched it live.
so did I. I was right next to it at the table, like
Let's hear
two
your
tables over.
let's hear your perspective.
So my brother, who was a year above me, was quite mischievous in high school. And you know, our high school, this rural town, kind of has these two sects of people. I feel like SECTS, sects of people.
Two sects of people.
Yeah, you have like I don't want to say normal, but you have like your average people and then country people. Like been there generations, wear the camo pants to school, hats, lanyards, accent, the whole deal. And it formed into where you had the popular kids and the popular kids of both
Sexes.
sex. Yeah,
Say it. Say it.
yeah, sex. I can't say it. Like, well, it doesn't work. So it ended up being like they would have turf wars, like little mini wars. And so this one occurred where they were in the bathroom in the country kids vape zone, and the popular group went in there to just vape in the bathroom, and it was like the country people. And so what happened was the country gang stole one popular kid's vape. And so my brother, he was pretty popular in high school, corralled a bunch of his group, took a gang of the other popular group into the bathroom with the country popular group and started like a fight. Like just getting all up in each other's face, pushing each other around, cursing at each other. And basically, it doesn't turn into too much, surprisingly. But this one kid who stole the vape, he's like this little shrimpy dude. And he's pretty sketchy in that he has a knife. And he goes and gets mad and he runs off and threatens them. And so he runs up the stairs. The SRO gets word of this. He comes running down the stairs. And if you recall, he's cursing. The person he's cursing out is my brother, who took the vape away from him. He has his knife, and the SRO basically grabbed this kid and like body slams him back, like just throws this kid down, absolutely demolishes him, like a shot heard round the world, massive smack. And then everyone in the whole school just like gathers around, if you recall. And then he's like calling for backup because he's like, there's gonna be riots. These kids are gonna go crazy.
He's like got his like hand on his holster. And he's like, if they get close to me, I'm popping some shots.
He's posted up. But I would love to know what you heard. What
there were like
saw.
Some complaints of the kid. They were like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that? He has popcorn lung," and the SRO did that to him when he has popcorn lung. Kind of weird.
Kind of cringe.
but the same thing, less descript from my perspective. This is during like our like free period, I think.
Yeah.
And I am still missing a lot of class because I was set up from a young age to be absent. So I'm just continuing that trend. And so I'm in like a science classroom. Maybe it might have been Mr. Camo's class that we were talking about earlier. But I'm in there.
Yeah, Mr. Blue.
I'm in their class, and they're like, I'm gonna print a paper, but you have to go all the way down to the printer on the first floor to get it. And it was in like the marketing room. There was like a printer in there, so I'm like headed that way. And I'm at like the top of the stairs, and like you said, I see this boy. He's like running up the stairs, and then he's like turns around, like someone must have said something. He's like yelling, and same thing from a different angle. He runs down the stairs, gets absolutely destroyed, and chaos ensues.
That was a pog day. Like probably not for him or for the SRO, but that was pretty fun to witness.
You don't get many experiences like that in life.
Once in a lifetime.
May they both rest in peace.
So, okay, neither of them are dead. Both are fine. The funny thing is, I don't know if this is true, but our SRO at this nondescript high school, he was put there. I heard rumors, and feel completely free to like discount them.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that the police force did not like our SRO. He was transferred to the school as a disciplinary measure. That much was confirmed by the police. And the funny thing is, this part's a rumor. I kind of think it's true because the evidence that has been given multiple times.
All right, let's see.
I'm pretty sure he was cited for use of aggressive force, so they put him as a high school SRO.
I mean, the evidence could point in that direction.
Could you imagine like the thought process though? Like, oh, this man tends to overdiddle. Let's put him with a bunch
not
of kids.
overdiddle. That's a little extreme. Some would say.
Some could say.
They have said.
It's crazy. I don't understand the logic there, but
that's the thing.
Made for quite the show.
That's the guy you want there when things start popping off.
Or when things get dicey over a vape.
Yeah, true. That reminds me of a different story.
Oh, do
Um,
tell.
I don't I don't think it was me. I think this is actually Max's story, my cousin.
Okay.
But he was like coming back from like a field trip or something, and it was like after school. And so he goes in the school, and they are like practicing like a school shooting drill. So there is like there is like it's like all the like cops from like the town are there, and they have like rubber bullets, and they're like walking
What?
through what would happen if there was a school shooting, and Max is just like there vibing.
Oh my god.
He said he didn't realize it until like he like heard like footsteps down the hallway, and he like turned the corner, and there were just guys there with guns. Apparently they were using like rubber bullets or something. And I think he just like went and like hid in a classroom.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Poor Max, he's just going to pick something up, going to do something, and just bam, shot on spot.
He's never been the same since. What a
How
time
did he
at
get out of that?
nondescript high school. I think he just like vibed in a classroom until it was over or something.
Legend says he's still there.
He's still there sitting and waiting.
I feel like there's plenty of stories about our nondescript high school that we can get into whenever we need to tap into the story market.
True, true.
It was just
And
such a interesting mix of people and ideas, and it ended up with a lot of tension over vapes.
that's how it
Ironically,
goes.
that happened a lot.
And we both went to that nondescript summer school.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was pretty
fun.
pog. Oh,
A lot of stories from that. There was
I
a
don't know if I want to save this story for another podcast, but the most cringe worthy moment of my life happened
Oh,
at this nondescript summer school involving
I
you.
know exactly what you're talking about. I feel like we have to tell this.
We have to say, oh
Okay.
my gosh.
So we're at this
It's making me
nondescript.
go red in the face thinking of it.
I'm gonna lead
Oh,
into it because I am involved heavily.
yeah. It centers around you.
So I'm in this. So me and Peter are in this nondescript summer school,
Mhm.
and we have different like focuses. Like mine is like focused in math. Peter's is like natural science,
Yeah.
and I just like do not want to be there because it's like summer school and it's like lame. And like everyone else is like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have homework over the summer. So I'm just like kind of like not really paying attention, kind of being a bad student. And one of my teachers, uh, I don't know, can we say his name? Does it matter?
I feel like it's fine.
Okay, man's name is Bob.
Good old Bobbert.
So Bob is vibing and he's just like teaching. And I go up to him and I'm trying to think of how this happened exactly. But I'm just like bored and he's like teaching a bunch of theoretical stuff. And I'm like, oh, Bob, I come up to him after class one day and I'm like, oh, Bob, do you teach anything here that's like, do we do any math that's like based in the physical world that we can actually like interact with? And he was like, oh yeah, we definitely have that. It's called science. It's what they're doing over there. We're doing math, so you can just kind of chill out. And I was like, okay.
The start of a bad situation.
Yeah, and I would just like show up right as class was starting, and he was like, you're almost late. If you're late, I'm gonna have to refer you to the dean. And then he's hosting like this optional seminar. And this is on the 4th of July. So your boy is rocking out with his American flag socks on his American flag flip-flops. That's me. I'm just vibing. I'm a cool guy, a cool cat, embracing the holiday.
Quick aside, we said the Pledge of Allegiance to your flip-flops.
They were that drippy. That's how drippy they were. They were also like children's size socks or something. Like they did not fit me. I had to like stretch them up. But anyway, he's hosting this optional lecture on the bottom floor. And I'm going to this other lecture that's on the second floor. But I'm late. I'm always late. I'm running late. So I'm booking it down the hallway. And I go in my flip-flops are going flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, aggressively loud, just smacking the ground, echoing throughout the hallway. And as I pass by his class, I look over and no one is talking. And he is just giving me the evil eye. And he's like, "Are you coming in here, son?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going upstairs." And he was like, "Well, you better get going then." And so I just like go upstairs, go to my lecture, embarrassed. And I tell Peter this story, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, so Bob hates me." And this is where the story picks up from Peter's side.
So, even though, like, you hear Coop's story on its own, and you're like, damn, that's embarrassing. You have to run by click-clacking, patriotic outfit, but a little out there, a little tacky. Past the whole classroom. Yeah. I think I got you beat in the embarrassment, though. When you look at your life, you can tend to recall a few moments of mass embarrassment where you just want to curl up into a ball and just disappear. This is my number one. Overall, worst, like, most uncomfortable moment ever.
I'm laughing so hard just thinking about it.
So Coop wasn't there for the actual occurrence of this. He got to hear about it and bask in all the glory of it. And get the secondhand embarrassment from it.
It still embarrasses me too, because of what you did.
It definitely embarrasses Cooper, and I just put him on the spot like this. So, one way or another, this nondescript summer school has these few, like, big assemblies. And so we're going to one. And it works that from my little dorm room, we meet up with our friends, and some reason or another, you're not there. Because usually we'd hang out and go to those things together, but you weren't there for some reason. I can't remember why. And we're walking down the stairs, and then you go down to an auditorium. But it's a pretty, it is a pretty walk, but it's a longish walk. You figure 10 minutes, not too long, but enough that that's a walk. Walking down with my friends. Cooper has just told me about this story, so fresh in the mind, fresh in the soul.
I can always rely on Peter to keep my secrets.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know it was a secret exactly. So I'm getting a little loud, just dying laughing at this story, talking about it with my pals.
You're telling everyone else the story. You're relaying it.
Absolutely anyone who will listen in this crowd of people as we're walking down. And get to the end and I'm like, so Cooper told me his teacher Bob hates him just so much. After telling this whole story, just building up, loud, just brandishing it, just getting it out to the people. Then I hear a voice. And it seems like in this moment, the world just stops. It goes silent. And what happens is, I wasn't the most observant. So immediately after I say this, I hear a voice, and it goes, what did he say exactly?
I don't know.
It was, oh man, it was, yeah, who is this Bob guy, right? And I go completely silent, red in the face, beat red. I'm getting a bit now, remembering it. and everyone goes quiet, and I just go, "Ah!" I make that noise. I screech. I make exactly that noise. And the guy who said it was Bob, who was not a few people behind me. He was directly behind me, looming over me as we're walking down these stairs. And we have to walk the rest of the way to the auditorium in complete dead silence with him there.
And then you had this one-off awkward experience. I had to see this man for the rest of the summer. And I think he like comes up to me like after that, and he's like, I heard your friend Peter talking about me. I don't hate you, you know. But it definitely didn't improve our relationship having Peter air out our grievances to the world.
Didn't he say, I heard your weird friend who screeched say
Oh, yeah, he mentioned that Peter had told the story and then seen him and then screeched. You just like screamed in his face.
Oh, it was a primal response. I didn't know what to do. I could not, my brain couldn't process the situation, so I just let it all hang out.
Left it all on the line.
I did. I lost it all in that day. I felt really bad for you after that because I was like, man, he doesn't fare well with this. I mean, I have this awful situation, but I get to walk away with it. I get to go to my science classes. I get to sleep it off. Coop has to see this man every day.
Yeah, it made our situation 10 times worse.
Oh.
And I had to stare him in the face at 8 a.m. every day. But Bob, if you're watching this, I know you're probably watching. If you are, yeah, I love you.
He doesn't actually love you.
No hard feelings, no grievances.
From the source.
You're just doing it again, Peter. Bob joins the call.
I hear the Discord like, boom. Could you imagine? Oh, we should, man. An expert for the podcast could be Bob.
Do you ever talk to anyone from nondescript summer school?
There's a few that go to our nondescript college.
That's true.
Yeah, and I had a few classes with one of them. And he has I'm gonna save this story about him from nondescript college.
Is it?
I don't think I've told you. I don't know if I've told you this story.
I feel like I want to know now.
You're just gonna have to wait till next podcast.
Next podcast. All right, you write it down so you remember to tell me.
I just wrote it down. It's there, saved away for next podcast.
There's a lot of people from that summer school that goes to state. Like I see
nondescript state.
They know what nondescript state we go to. Like I saw like Nate around a lot and Josh and stuff.
Yeah, the squad. We have a group chat. Are you in the group chat?
You have a group chat?
I mean, what group chat?
You have a group chat. And... Wait, how often do you talk in the group chat?
Not that much.
No, come on. When was the last message?
Couple out
No, really?
Hours ago.
Check right now, see if I'm in it.
No, I'm joking. I'm pretty sure you're in it. It literally was made like last year and no one's talked forever.
I'm talking it right now.
Are you in it?
I don't know. I want to see. I'm curious now.
I'll have to pull it up. I think it's just called State Gang.
We got Zoom Zoom Boom.
Oh wait, that's a big one.
That's the original one.
Yeah, true. We had a state one. I don't know where it went. I think it got disbanded.
Sure. I was never invited.
How the tables have turned.
I want to tell one more story from that nondescript school while we're on the topic. Now that
Go
I'm thinking
for it. There's plenty.
Do you remember when they had that so there was like a theater department, and they had like a this is one of the cringiest moments in my
This was
life.
so bad.
They hosted this like guided theater experience,
It's awful.
and we were like, so we all met up in this one area, and there were these two actors, and apparently you were supposed to follow these actors around and like go everywhere they went, but
Fortune favors the bold.
fortune favors the bold. But our good friend Nate, he said, I know I saw some people going to this. We didn't think it was a guided experience. We thought it was a go on your own sort of scavenger hunt sort of thing.
Well, they'd hyped it up, and it kind of like seemed like it was.
So
You go to these checkpoints.
our friend Nate said, I saw some people going out into the woods this way, into the park area. So we should go meet them and get ahead of everyone else. So
Yeah.
we go up, and we go into the park, and there's this big like almost like amphitheater thing outside, and at the very top is the entire like dance team or like dance group, and they're all wearing masks, and there's like one of them standing forward, and we're like, oh shit, we're in the right place. Like maybe we'll talk to them and they'll give us a clue or something, and we can kind of see what happens. So
I should add a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not only did we think it was a scavenger hunt, we thought we had skipped a few clues and were ahead of everyone else, just doing great, and that we had to rush to like beat everyone.
Yes, we thought we were absolutely killing this scavenger hunt that just didn't exist.
Goated.
And so we're like, we walk up, and there's this poor girl, and she's wearing this mask, and she's not saying anything. And we're like, oh, do we have to like what do we have to do to get the next clue? And she just like doesn't say anything. And Nate is like, guys, I know what we need to do. We need to role play with her. So I'm gonna go up and pretend like I am fighting with her. And so he like goes up and he like gets in her face and he's like, give us the clue or something like that.
Yeah.
And she just like does not move. And so we're just like, there's like 5 of us, and we're just like standing here facing the entire dance team. And Nate's trying to like square up, and we're just like, we have no idea what we're doing. Maybe we need to like go back to the start or something. So eventually they're just standing there not saying anything, not telling us where the next clue is. So we just like give up and just like sit down. And then
Before we sit down, actually, before we decide to just wait it out, accept defeat, Nate comes up with the bright idea that to increase this amount of roleplay, since we know they're the dance team, maybe we should dance too. None of us do it, except Nate, who walks up to them and starts just like jumping around and dancing at them, like aggressively dancing at them. Doesn't work, then we sit down.
yeah, then we sit down and we like give up, and we're like, okay, I guess we're gonna lose this scavenger hunt. And then we see this man in like this wolf costume, and he like runs up the amphitheater steps, and there's like this horde of people just following him. And that's when we learned it was actually a guided theater experience, and we were supposed to be following this wolf man to see the wacky adventures he got into. And then he like talks to like the dancers, and they like do like a dance routine.
Yeah, they like crawl down the amphitheater towards the crowd of people, and we're just standing at the top, and all the people are supposed to be at the bottom watching. And so these dancers are just like crawling down between us as we're just like awkwardly sitting at the top.
We're just like sitting in their way.
And we didn't know what to do, so they're just like working around us.
And then we
smart kids.
And then we just like followed the rest of the experience. It was a pretty good time.
Yeah, we had a good time after that. But that was just awful.
Oh, there was another.
Poor dancers.
Oh, I gotta tell another one too. There's just so much brimming. Do you remember when we played hide and seek?
Which time?
There was this. I don't know if you were there. I feel like you were. There was this time. I'm like goated at hide and seek. I'm gonna lead off with that. There was this time where they organized like a campus-wide hide and seek. So everyone in the whole school was playing. And if you got found, then you became a seeker and you had to help everyone else hide.
Yeah.
And there's like, and it was like a summer school thing, so there's like a 10 p.m. curfew or something, or 11. I don't remember what it was. So we had to be
Yeah,
back
it
by
was.
then.
You had to be back by 10.
But this thing started at like 8. So I got all of our friends and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know where we should hide." And I take them and we sit inside of like a briar bush. Kind of like you did with your bees, but we're like
Yeah.
inside of it and we can see out, but no one can see inside. And we
I
sit
think I
there.
was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and we sit there and we're like, we can't talk and we shouldn't get on our phones because that will have light. So we sit there
Hmm.
from 8 p.m. for about 2 hours. And it's like 10:05 and no one has found us. Everyone else has been found. And the game, and I guess the game just ends or something. It's 10 minutes past curfew, and someone's like, all right, we should go back. And I'm like, no, I do not want to lose this game of hide and seek. So I'm like, let's just stay here for 10 more minutes. If no one finds us, we'll go back. We stay. Of course, no one comes to find us. And then we just have to run back to the dorms. And we get there, and they're like, oh, that game, we ended the game of hide and seek like an hour ago.
Yeah. It was like a short thing, and then they were just like, "Oh, for fun," and we were just squatted up, no phones, probably receiving texts that we could leave, but couldn't have light.
Yeah, you didn't want to give yourself away. Just hiding in this bush.
Keep in mind, since we were there, like getting towards curfew, probably at curfew, they were like crazy strict about curfew, and if you went over like a couple minutes, they would just send you to the dean.
We got lucky
It's
though.
crazy.
We're just absolute idiots. And they were like, okay, you don't have to go to the dean.
We were still hiding. I think that was like the one time I missed the count off and whatnot.
It was a good time. Your room smelled like
Oh my god.
absolute feet.
Okay, so at this nondescript summer school, we were assigned random roommates, and I was a couple doors down from Cooper. My roommate was he was a really eccentric, nice guy in the music department, and he was half Asian. And so he grew up having all this like really
Elliot was half
great.
Asian.
Yeah, his mom was Asian,
Oh, I had no idea.
like by blood. He doesn't look it. That's probably why Cooper's asking. Um, but he had all this like great food as a kid and just liked to make it. And so he would literally ferment kimchi in our dorm room and like make this super aromatic ramen and let it sit out so it would infuse. And then on the first week, we had a watermelon eating contest. He took like a massive tray of extra watermelon and just sat it on his desk. He saving it for later or something. He just leaves it for 2 weeks and it's like rotting. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to touch this. It gets to the point where I just get up and throw it out. Um, no, like definitely fault of his, but I don't think he meant anything bad by it. I think he just like I don't know. He was just used to that stuff.
And we're in this old ass dorm with no air conditioning in the rooms.
Middle of summer in a heat wave,
It's
and the
hot.
sun like pounds down on the kimchi, ramen, and watermelon, and just aromates the smell into the walls, and it seeps in there permanently.
It's so hot, and Peter's room is just fermenting,
It
stewing.
gets to the point where I take two big box fans. I had a tiny little blue fan about this big, and I would sit it at my door. But it became a hall problem, and they like no one could smell it because we would keep our door shut and like block it from people because we understood how bad it was. And I would never spend time in the room unless I absolutely had to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would whenever I wasn't in the room though, people wouldn't really be on the hall, so I would stick my fan out of the door so it would blow air out of the room
Yeah,
and try to get rid of the smell.
the strat for heating up the rooms was the hallway in the middle was air conditioned,
Yeah.
but the rooms were not. So you would get like a big fan and blow the hot air out of your room, and hope that the cold air would come in from the hallway.
A lot of people would even put fans to blow cold air in. But ours were all out, and so I had this little fan, and people would come into my room and pity me so much. I ended up getting donated 2 box fans. And I would have every time I wasn't in the room, I would set them up to blow air. Just like I had one deep in the room to blow air towards it. I had my blue fan to blow air towards and then one at the door, and it would blow all this air out of it. Didn't help a bit. I feel so bad because when we're not there at the summer school, it turns into a college. There's someone living in that dorm room, which inevitably still smells like that.
My roommate experience was much better. Me and Ricky got on just fine. Actually, I was definitely the bad roommate.
You were an awful roommate.
I was. I'm a natural entertainer.
We were formal, and you locked him in a closet, and we sang "Sweet Caroline" with him until he would sing along to let him out.
When you put it like that, it sounds like I'm the bad guy. But really, I'm just a natural entertainer, and I just wanted to make Ricky's life as entertaining as possible. And he was doing theater, so he would get back from like his rehearsals exhausted, and I'd be like, "Yo, Ricky, let's play some cards." Or I would like do haikus. I was a big haiku guy. I could make up a haiku about anything. It was really great.
I mean, you say that, but you gotta back it up here.
You gotta do it in kind of like a sing-song voice. I hate Peter. No, wait.
No, I don't like where this is going.
Peter is a lame. Peter is a lame. I do not like his face hole.
Oh, which one?
He is gross. He is a gross guy. That's a haiku. See, as you can tell, I'm really good at it.
All back as a one cohesive haiku.
I don't remember the first one.
Exactly. Great at haiku.
But anyway, imagine me doing this for like 2 hours while you're trying to go to sleep.
And then locking him in a closet.
Yeah, but it was fun.
It was such a surreal experience. It was not real life. It was like artificial.
Did you try and stay up the last day? Like stay up all day?
Yeah. Like everyone.
Yeah, everyone tried. Like the last day, everyone tried to like stay up all night, and I'm like notorious for like staying up super late. But for some reason, I was just absolutely zoinked. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to my room and close my eyes for a second. And I blink, and it's just the morning time. And everyone has these cool pictures of them like out, like watching the sunrise and stuff like that. And I'm just like vibing, asleep in my room.
Slept through all of it.
Slump.
Yeah, Coop gets up and everyone's like moved out.
Literally.
Ricky gone in the middle of the night without Coop, just trying to get out of there as fast as possible. Ricky actually goes to a nondescript state school.
Not the same one as us.
Doesn't he?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, I thought he did.
He goes to like a different school.
Great.
You wouldn't know. He goes to another school.
We really conquered all the stories.
Not all of them. We still got nondescript school stories. I really want to hear the one that you're talking about, but I'm gonna have to wait till next podcast.
Yeah, I feel like I need to save it.
Yeah,
I as much as I like want to delay this bet, I don't know if I can.
You know, Peter, it is Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine? Oh wait. Okay.
I think I'm busy.
Oh, you're busy right now?
Yeah.
Let me tell you this Valentine that my little sister sent to me like an hour ago.
Go for it. I'm going to try to find a Valentine to show to you.
So you know Sal from Impractical Jokers?
Yeah.
It's a picture of him, and it's super blurry, and it says, "Will you be my Salentine?"
Oh my god.
I can hold it up to the camera. Oh, you can't really see.
That really doesn't show much of anything, but thank you for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, I'm trying to find this Valentine. Just like a shitty Valentine like picture that someone sent out as like Snapchat streaks on Valentine's Day. Um,
Your
it's like, huh?
your hair is red. My favorite color is blue. I want to go on a date with you.
Damn, that was actually kind of fire, Coop. Coop's straight up spitting bars out here.
You didn't see it. You didn't see it, Peter.
Ice running through his veins. Oh, okay. I feel like next podcast we should have a nondescript state stories segment because I'm cooking up another one.
From our summer school or
Nondescript state school.
from college?
Mm-hmm.
We could come up with some college stories if I can think of any.
I have some.
All right, Peter, we might have delayed it long enough. It might be time for one of us to do the cinnamon challenge.
Who knows?
Let me check the stonk price. What was it at when
So,
we?
It was at $66.50 per share.
And now it is at $52.
$77.
$52, and that is under that. If you don't know, if you can't do math, that is under the price that Peter said. So I win. And Peter, it looks like you're going to be doing the cinnamon challenge. You, cinnamon.
Hope
boy.
Hope you brought some cinnamon.
So Peter, tell us what you had to do with your cinnamon. Because you texted me like 5 minutes before the show and you said that you do not have any cinnamon.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah. I don't have like powdered cinnamon, but it's like ground cinnamon sticks. So can you like
Did you grind up cinnamon sticks?
No,
Did you
no,
get
no,
like
no,
cinnamon
no.
sticks and
No. See, it's just like
it's like cinnamon chunks.
Yeah, chonking.
I think the whole point is it's like a dust. I think that's the whole point of the challenge.
I do too, but I can't do better than this right now.
All right, so let's
Can't
just
delay the content.
All right, we'll just
I'm gonna
see.
go fill this up real quick.
Okay, while he's gone, I will explain to everyone. We're gonna see how Peter handles the cinnamon challenge, and then if it's not satisfactory enough, we'll just make him do it again next week. That's the plan. And now it's just me. It's just one bro, one podcast. If you guys haven't already checked out the YouTube channel, check it out. Give us a sub. If you haven't already watched on Apple Music, Apple Podcast, leave a review. We're going to be reading every review we get. That's 5 stars. Every 5 star, if you leave us a 5-star review, we will read it live on the podcast. Any other review, we will not read it live on the podcast because that would be cringe. Oh, I hope Peter comes back soon because I'm getting lonely. Oh, there he is. For the audio listeners,
I'm prepping.
He has paper towels to coat his setup and a big ball of water for his demise. We're going to need a big spoonful for you. Why don't you just chug what's left?
I should just chug? I was going to show it's a spoonful, but like, you know.
Yeah, I would say
it's like that much.
Yeah, I would say that's enough. I would go just straight out of the bottle, straight to the back of the throat. That's the way you want to do it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
To the back of the throat, I just inhale it and die.
That's the point of the challenge.
Oh, Coop, this is gonna be so bad. I'm putting on the spoon for like express delivery.
We're so we're so up with the times. Next week, Peter does the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
A fat chance it is. Oh, I just spilled all of it. Don't worry, it's on the paper towel, but
I told you just drink it out of the bottle, bro. Bottle, bro.
Bottle.
Butterbur.
All right, I'm trying to salvage what I can. It's yeah, I've only dropped like 1% of it left, like that I'm unable to scoop up. Okay.
If you're not watching if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, I will give you a play-by-play.
Okay.
And you'll probably hear some good noises from Peter.
So should I like mic in or
no? I want to just kind of play it by ear. I trust you.
Okay,
right.
so this is all I had left. So it's if you can't see, full spoon,
a
deep
full
spoon right
spoonful.
here.
Full spoon.
Yeah.
Never go full spoon, but he did.
Oh,
Cheers, Peter. To GameStop.
Me to the moon.
To the moon. Fist bump. He has put it in his mouth. Oh, he's chewing. He's making a bad face. Peter, how's it going? Tell us what you think. I think he said it's bussin'.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Is it coagulating on your teeth?
Oh my god.
If you're listening to the audio, you should be thankful. This is a horrible sight to see. He's really struggling. He's kind of a wimp.
So bad. Oh.
This is what you get for betting your life on GameStop, kids. Next week.
I feel sorry for anyone watching.
Oh, sorry. I think it's pretty enjoyable.
Ugh. Okay. I can say with confidence, ground and powdered are not the same thing. This did not work as it should have. This was just a horrible experience.
So you're saying next week we need to do the powdered?
Oh, fat chance.
And also, we need to set the stakes for the other bet, our new bet, under over the current price.
Oh my gosh. I'm like crying. It just burned. I think what happens with the powder is you just expel it. My body just didn't, and so I just suffered.
Would you do eyebrow slit?
Eyebrow slit? I don't know if my body can take such harm.
I don't know. I think I could.
You could
Loser has to get an eyebrow slit? What are you thinking, Pete?
I don't know.
Are you a wussy?
Am I a wussy? I more just want to make money off of GameStop. That's like the stakes for me. Like loser loses money off of GameStop, you know?
See, that's the thing. If you lose, you're gonna be a double loser. Maybe okay. What if
what,
you have,
like?
you have
What
to,
if like?
Okay.
Okay, you go. You go.
you go. All you.
I was gonna say, if I lose, I can go get like the real powdered cinnamon and do that.
I think you have to do it anyway.
No. No.
We didn't get the full experience.
But if I win, you have to buy like 10 shares of GameStop, no matter the price.
That's just terrible. You spend 50 cents and I lose $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about you have to write loser on your forehead?
Like with a Sharpie?
Yeah, with a Sharpie.
Okay. I'm down. Like on stream, you try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
All right. Loser.
I think that should include the impression and the nice things with it.
Yeah. Loser has to do an impression of the other person's choosing. Turtle King, or for anyone else that's not been tuned in recently, we were making a bet on the price of GameStop shares as of when we record the next podcast next week. It's currently at what, $53?
Yeah.
What's it at?
Let me check the exact price. That way it'll be recorded
All
here.
right, whatever price it's at, I'm betting that
52.90.
52.90. I'm betting that the price will be below 52.90 at the time of next week's recording, and Peter is betting that the price will be above 52.90. And the
If it's
loser,
at the exact same, we both do it.
okay, the loser has to write loser on their forehead, tell the other person a compliment, and do an impression of the other person's choosing.
Yes, sir.
And also, next week's podcast, Peter will be telling a wonderful story from our
A good few college stories.
nondescript summer school. Oh, wait, it's about college?
Yeah, I have a good few college stories.
I'm trying to look and see if I have anything else written down that I wanted to talk about. I have a homework assignment that I'm procrastinating doing. It's 46 problems due tomorrow
Oh
night.
my God, Coop.
Yeah, probably should get started, but after the stream, if you stick around, we're gonna end the stream and then I will probably go back live in a little bit and play some Minecraft. Double
Poggers.
whammy.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, Pete, I think we're getting towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any
Oh,
last minute thoughts? Or sorry,
I
what
think
were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna, give a good little stream recap. We hit the good points, some great stories, some traumatic stories, some great descriptions of Cooper's dating profile. So, ladies, men, others, animals, please hit him up if you're interested. Don't make Coop lonely on Valentine's Day, which is today.
We talked about weird school experiences, me being absent a million times in
Mhm.
elementary school.
Hit
What
on some
else?
interesting teacher experiences, Mr. Red and Bob and whatnot. It's a great time.
Whatnot. If you guys are watching on Twitch, be sure to drop a follow. And if you are so inclined, feel free to subscribe. We are at 11 concurrent subscribers so far, and I would love to push that number up. What should the people on YouTube do, Peter?
People on YouTube, make sure to drop a follow, maybe like. I guess it's called subscribe on YouTube, but
It
definitely
is
like. And please comment down below thoughts on the podcast, a review, just something quirky, a little quirky up in here. We'll
quirky
definitely
action.
read it. Yeah, we do like quirky action.
And be sure
We'll
to
definitely read it.
leave a review on Apple Podcasts because we will be reading all 5-star reviews that we get, whether they
For sure.
insult Peter's ugly face or not.
They did say the hot ginger was the only reason to watch.
There could be some other reasons. But Peter,
Nah,
I think we should raid some other podcasts.
I think so. Help fellow Potters out.
All right, I found one. They're on episode 105 of their podcast. I don't know what they're talking about, but we're gonna see. If you're
So
watching on stream, join up the raid, get some free channel points. Tell them who sent you.
what is one word you'd like to end the podcast out with?
Oh, me? I feel like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you
That's a
had
hog word.
if you had to say one word, it's probably pretty lame, but what would it be?
Fresh, maybe. Comes to mind.
Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
Bye.